Hey guys, and welcome to the official XMMORPG review of NCSoft's recently released title, Guild Wars 2. Now if you haven't heard of this, you must have been living in a cave or under a rock. It has dominated the gaming press for the past 6 months to the year. Everyone's been talking about it, everybody's playing it, the reviews everywhere are amazing, so we thought we'd sit down and have a look at what we thought ourselves. As you can see here, this is the race selection during character creation. You have a Char, a human, a Norn, an Azura, and a Silvari. All races are unique in terms of appearance, as you can see here, quite obviously. All races have access to the same classes, so you are not restricted based on your race. There are male and females of all races, and also each race gets their own starting area. I'm probably going to roll the Char for this one, because them guys are pretty beefy looking. As you can see, like I said before, male or female. Here are the class selections. There are 8 classes total. Elementalist, which are sort of mage AoE type, warrior, which is melee heavy damage, guardian, which is kind of a support tanky role, engineer, typical engineer, builds turrets, so forth, ranger again, long range hunter class with a pet, necromancer similar to a ranger, just magic and dead things instead of live pets, thief, stereotypical thief, and then mesmer, who sort of use a range of different abilities. Really, they're quite an interesting class. They can even clone themselves several times, which is quite cool. The appearance isn't great for these. I should have picked a different class race to show you the appearances of each, but it doesn't really matter too much. As this is a big wolf guy, we'll pick a warrior for this one. As you can see, the character creation is quite advanced. It doesn't quite match up to some of the big RPG, APB for example, as an FPS is really heavy on the character creation, but this one's still pretty damn good for an MMO. You won't find many of this caliber. As you can see, you can hide your armor, check your body size, your body mass, all your muscles, all that stuff. Change the colour of your fur markings. Yeah, we'll go for black and white one, that'll do. Big mane. Yeah, there we go. As you can see, you can go into real depth if you want to. Everything from the eyebrow placement to the nose, the teeth, all this size, and change all of it. Even the ears and horns. You can also choose your dyes. Now these remain with you as you play in the game. Like items you pick up can become the same colour dye and stuff like that. So just make a nice, easily pleasing one. Not many colours, nice and boring. There we go. I'm a white mage-looking warrior wolfman. Very interesting. This is one of the more interesting aspects of the character creation, and this happens with all classes, all races, although the choices are different. When you create your character, you get to make different choices on the next few questions. These choices drastically affect how you play the game. Every single choice you make changes the storyline of what your character will face, as well as physical traits and other things. You can see here's 3 choices. Choose what I don't wear a helmet because I'm a beast, so I'm not going to wear a helmet. These are you get to choose these during the game. They're basically like the light and dark side you get from the Old Republic, but they're ferocity, dignity, charm. I think there's one more that isn't featured there, but they're basically, you can use those during certain conversations, certain quests, and being aligned with that particular one does increase your chances of it being successful. Big wolf, so I'm probably thinking ferocity is probably going to be my kind of play style. I'm proud to be. These are probably the ones that's going to affect your starting lineup. I'll use a sword, blood legion, sounds good. Again, another question here. And then finally, another question. And then you create your name. XMMORPG seems fitting, and it's not taken, that's always good. Now, I haven't played this class before, so I've not done this starting area. I usually play humans. I have seen the human storyline.
I am a Char.
We'll skip that bit, don't want to ruin the story for you. I have seen the human storyline from 3 or 4 of the different choices, so it does change quite noticeably. It's definitely worth. It's quite easy. You could play a character, you could play the same race, the same class, choose different things for your story at the start, and you would experience a very different progression path in the main storyline, which is very unique. There's very few games out there that can offer you the same class and race and provide a different experience every time. That almost never happens. So it's nice to see NCSoft bringing that into the game and adding a bit more innovation to the main storylines. Loading times have suffered a little bit since launch. I did play in the Head Start event as well as some of the betas and have no issues with loading times whatsoever. In the last couple of weeks since the launch day, I have noticed a genuinely sort of small increase in the loading time. It can take a while to get to new maps, especially if you've not been there before. As you can see, we're finally through this one. Just going to adjust the volume to make sure you guys can hear me through the whole thing. Audio. Turn that right down. I'll explain a few things to you here before we go off anyway. This is the hero screen. This basically your character screen tells you your gear, equipment, all that jazz. It's got it all right there for you. Skills and traits, you won't really see these too early on with the especially the skills and the traits, because you do have to level up a bit before you get access to these, but you do get one. Everyone gets a heal, so you do not need to rely on a healer in a fight or anything like that. You can get your own heal. All of the classes in this game are built to be self-sufficient, so you can go into a dungeon with 8 people, none of them with a group heal, and all still survive if you know what you're doing. The weapon skills are your main character skills. As you can see here, as a warrior, I've got access to a sword, a hammer, a longbow, an axe, a greatsword, a mace. There's a big list, you can see them all here, and each of those provide different skills. Now you can see a single-handed weapon will give me 3 abilities, and you can also equip an off-hand weapon which gives you 2 more abilities. Two-handed weapons just give you a flat out 5 abilities. Now this is, I don't think there's any other MMO that's done this before, but it does mean it's a double-edged sword. You do have a lot of access to a good amount of abilities very early on, but then as you progress it does seem to slow, whereas you're not getting half as many as you'd expect. The traits are basically what you look at. You can't look at them from here. They're basically what you help to get. They give you passive benefits, and then these ones here you get skill points every level and you can unlock more, but these aren't really your typical skills. A lot of them are passive, some of them can be seen across multiple classes, so it's not personally the strongest point. I don't think it's the strongest aspect of the game, but it is an interesting concept, and it is nice to be able to switch out weapons. Once you reach a certain level, you can do it in game, in the middle of combat, so you could be sitting there and use all of your abilities and cooldowns on your two-handed sword, and then switch it up and use something else. And again, that's not something you can do in many online games today. I'm going to skip the majority of the story, because if you're looking at playing the game, I don't want to ruin it. If you've already played it and you're checking the review out, you've probably seen it. Otherwise it can be quite a dull story, but we'll show you a bit of combat here. As you can see, it is typical tab, target and macro based, as you would expect from an MMO today, but it does feel a lot more fluid and streamlined than what you'd usually expect. You don't have to stand still and wait for all your abilities to charge up. Obviously some of the classes do have charge times and that kind of thing, but the ranger, for example, can quite easily shoot on the run. They can run around in circles, constantly trying to slow their target, blind their target while firing without ever having to stop. The warrior, look, this right here, I'm slashing my sword. That's not going to attack one person, that can attack multiple people, as you can see there. I don't know if that was me that done the knockback, but that was pretty cool. So although I'm sitting there targeting one person, if I do the location of my stand correct, I can hit more than one person at once. So it adds a lot of skill elements to the combat system. There's also a dodging in combat. You probably won't need to use it against enemies such as these guys, but you can just double tap a direction and dodge. You can't do it all the time. There's a yellow circle down here that tells you how much you can dodge. Sorry about that. The dodging is vital against certain enemies. You can get some big guys with big weapons such as orcs and sort of mini giant things, and if they hit you with their club once, one hit, doesn't matter, you will die. So you have to dodge it a matter of life or death, which actually puts full pressure on the player's skill and ability rather than what you're wearing or what class you've got. You actually have to know what you're doing and be able to dodge the attack in order to use it. As you can see, I'm a bit lost here. Oh no, it's just a crypt gate. I thought I was speaking to somebody. Up here you can see this is a quest log, but that's as much as it gets. You don't have, you don't walk into a quest hub and get 1,000 quests and then have to sit there and constantly check your journal and all this rubbish. It's all totally different. You just walk into an area, the quest pops up, you do it and you leave. No worrying about questing, no worry about going back to NPCs. You don't have to do any of that rubbish. You just get to the quest, you complete it, you move on, it's gone, it's done. No leftover items, no lingering quest journals. Probably one of the best features about the game. As you can see, I've not played this class before, so I'm not sure, but as you can see here, I'm a warrior and I can build adrenaline. Now I can use my adrenaline ability once I've built it up. As you can see, it's quite a powerful one, does a fair bit of damage and immobilises bleeding. So I'll get into battle and have that quick look. Not a big fan of that, using the F function keys as weapon keys and stuff, but there you go, it's not bad at all. Took that one apart pretty quickly. So I imagine different weapons also have different access to different adrenaline abilities. So as you probably noticed now, I've suddenly got 3 abilities. You learn abilities by weapon-specific abilities just by killing enemies. It's not a time-consuming process. You may think this is a starting weapon, so you'll learn them fast, but you do it with all of them. I could wait 30 levels, never switch a weapon, switch out, and get all 3 or all 5 of the abilities from that specific weapon in less than 5 minutes. It's not meant as a grind, it's just meant, you know, if you used the weapon before, you'll get access to it. If you haven't, you won't. This is a typical event here, as you can see. Obviously it's a story-based one, but this little thing on the map, these appear all the time. And they're just little events that you can just participate in, or you can move on and walk away. It's totally up to you. You don't have to do it, but you can. It's worth XP. They do scale depending on the amount of people, so if you're by yourself with a couple of friends, it's still possible to complete ones that are intended for large amounts of people. Again, that's another rare feature in the game that you don't really see catered to in the majority of other MMOs. They just kind of leave you to it. If you haven't got enough, you're going to die. Guild Wars doesn't do that. It caters to single group, single players, solo groups, large groups, guild groups. The lot is all catered for. These guys here are, some of these are real players that I'm playing with there. Oh. That's quite impressive. The human one's got a similarity to this big earth hands come out the ground, but yeah, that guy's pretty beastie. Remember, this is just a tutorial zone, so you know you're not going to see the best the game's got. It's just a new player experience with you. But as you can see, it's not a game to laugh at. You know, a lot of people are saying it's brilliant, some people are saying it's perfect. All the sites are giving it massive scores, and in all honesty, it totally deserves it. The game has so much going for it. It makes other MMOs look like child's play. We've all played MMO games before. You know, some of the features have been rehashed. Some of them are totally innovative. Some of them are totally next generation that you wouldn't expect. But NCSoft have done such a great job of bringing it all together. ArenaNet have brought it all together and given us a really solid MMO to play. We'll get into the main area here, and I'll show you another aspect of exploration. Now, this is something that I'm personally 50-50 on. I'm a bit on the fence. I'm not sure if I love it or loathe it. I consider myself a completionist, so when I have to sit there and if there's something I can complete and it's not been completed, I can't rest until it's done. And that works well in most MMOs because they don't really care. They don't really give you much to do other than just basically quest and level. But Guild Wars 2 has many areas that you can advance through without ever completing the whole thing fully. I'll show you right here. Grab this quest reward real quick. This is the map of the current location I'm in. As you can see, I haven't revealed all of it. These are a lot bigger than what these would appear here. But you have several things on the map. You have these things here. These are waypoints. You can teleport to here, just like that. As long as you've unlocked them, you have to reach them once to unlock them. You see this one here hasn't been unlocked. You have the hearts, which are quests. There's none currently unlocked here. But they're basically, again, you don't go and speak to an NPC. You just walk up. The quest tells you what comes up on the screen, tells you what you have to do, and you do it, and you move on. The rewards come to your mailbox, so you just click mail. Except you can complete an entire map, then grab all your mail, go back to the town, and move on without ever speaking to an NPC. Never having to hand a quest in. It's great. Other parts of this map, you've got the POIs, these little squares here. These are points of interest. These can just be nice buildings, good views, all sorts of things really. The blue markers, these are skill points. Now this is directly rewards you with character's improvement for exploring and completing each map. If you go up to a skill point, sometimes you've got a challenge, sometimes you've just got to click on it, sometimes it's a bit of a puzzle, it varies. But they give you extra skill points to improve your character stats. So by doing that, you're actually giving yourself an edge in PvP or PvE. So exploration is actually rewarded, whereas most games don't bother. And then finally you've got the vistas, which are these red triangles here. Sometimes these involve some kind of jumping quest where you've got to jump over a lot of small gaps or work your way up the side of a building. Other times they're just sitting there, and they provide a really nice view actually if you manage to get to one. I'll have a quick go to this one here to see if I can show you guys what it's like, because some of them are really impressive. They really demonstrate the power of the world in Guild Wars 2, because there's a lot of areas you won't see. You know, you don't really look up in the sky when you're sitting there trying to survive from enemies down here. You don't really, you know, check every corner of every screen, and the little systems like the vistas sort of give you a big view out. As you can see, it's right up there. I've not done this before, so I may be setting myself up to fail, because some of these are a real pain in the backside to collect. They can involve many trial and errors of jumping tactics and tricks, and sometimes it just doesn't go to plan. See, I thought this was pretty certain to go up here, but as you can see, I was wrong there. Oh, I should have thought about this. I should have just explained it and not bothered chasing it. Now I'm gonna probably struggle to yeah. Bad idea. But this is pretty much what vistas are about. Yeah, you'll find it on the map, and you'll have to try and work your way up. I think I may have found it on this one if we're lucky. And then you get to the top, you're rewarded with a nice view, a slight part of map completion, and a bit of experience points too. There it is. Now as you can see, you wouldn't have seen any of this just running out of there. You wouldn't have seen any of that huge town here. And then when you go up to the vista, you interact with it, and it gives you quite a pleasant passing view of the nearby area. Hopefully it's going to show the town after I just settle that and not just the side of the cliff, but no, it appears it's just going to show the side of the cliff. But these are everywhere throughout the game. There's at least 4 or 5 on each map, and they all show you different views, different aspects of the game, and some of them really are, you know, jaw-dropping. The graphics and the areas are astounding. It's another way that the game really excels in. But those kind of completion things are all over the maps, every single map you go to. So that rewards players for actually exploring the areas, interacting with the certain parts of the map, doing all of the little side quests and side bits. As you complete it, the whole thing, not only do you get all the stuff, you'd get the hidden experience points, the extra skill points, the nice views from the vistas. You also get chests and physical rewards such as items, new weapons and armor, rare keys for locked chests, all those kind of things. That's involved in the achievement system. I'll go over that here really quick. There are countless achievements. You can see here, these are just a few that I've done on my other characters, and there's hundreds, thousands of achievements. And these will reward you as well. They'll reward you with just points, which I think are pretty much just ego, and they do help towards your guild in terms of your guild's researching stuff and things like that. But you also get daily ones. Today, if I kill 10 things, 5 different enemies, gather 3 different items, and complete 1 event, I will complete my daily challenge. And for that challenge, I will get a chest, and those chests contain a variety of different things. And it's the same for the monthly. These ones you just get points for, but the daily and monthlies you are rewarded. The same with the exploration. So you can do everything and get lots. You can do not that much and get a little bit. The options are totally up to you. It's got everything for everybody. It's got everything for the completionists, and it's got ways that the guys that just want to get there and get to level 8, you can do it without spending all their time investing in pointless exploration levels as they may see it. Obviously this is only a new player experience review, so I'm not going to go heavy into the PvP or anything like that. The PvP is amazing, I will say that much. We will be having a full review here, hopefully within the next couple of weeks, as soon as I can get to a point in the game where I'm actually useful in PvP. My level 40 is a bit weak at the moment, it doesn't really make much use out there, so we'll have a review up on the website XMMORPG.com within the next couple of weeks. You can find us on Facebook, there will be a link in the description below, as well as Twitter and various other media channels. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. We do release new review videos at least every week. At the same time, we do a written review alternatively if you guys don't enjoy the videos, so you can check the written review out too. So make sure you come give us a look at XMMORPG.com, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.